Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. So welcome to this first in a series of things that I plan to probably share with you on the channel here, just as I get into something new here in Flight Simulator. So I was turned on to something called Fseconomy, and you can see here that this has been around for a while. It was established in 2005, so it is coming upon 20 years that this community has been in existence. But given that I've not been involved in flight simming until really 3 months ago, it's brand new to me. And it might be brand new to you as well if you're someone like me who has never really dabbled in the flight sim world and now would like to get into it. So, as longtime viewers of my channel know, I take my simming very seriously, and I try to immerse myself, get involved. The ones that really catch my attention, get my juices flowing, are those sims that are just able to be used in many, many different ways. It's why I love Farming Simulator and other things like that. And also why I had slightly feared that if I got into flight sim that it would suck up my life, and it is proving to be true. There just seems to be something new around every corner, and so I want to get into this particular corner here with you today. So my intent with any of these is I'm not an aviation geek. I don't know flight or anything that well. I came into this really without any knowledge, and I think that's part of the intimidation for a lot of people with something like flight simulation. Is this something I can even do, or is it just going to require a ton of work? So my goal with any of the things I'm going to share is to come at it from exactly that standpoint, not present myself as an expert, but just share with you the journey I took to get there. So first off, what is Fseconomy? And the simplest way to explain that is it is a virtual economy created around flight simulation. So it's not around any particular flight simulator. Users can use any of the major flight simulators. So Microsoft Flight Simulator, X-Plane, or Prepared are the ones that there are clients for. And given that this has been around for a very long time, if for some reason, maybe you've got a flight simulator sitting around that you haven't used in a while, want to get back into things but have never tried Fseconomy, it goes all the way back to Flight Simulator 9 and so forth with the support that it has. You'd come to the site here, and basically you need to register for an account, and then your next step is to go over here to the forums, and then you're going to come down here to the FSE support, and you're looking here for the new FSE Game World requests. And so if you go in here, basically, it just explains to you only one request. Earlier request will be deleted, moving you back to the queue, and you literally do exactly what it says here. You start a new topic and request a Game World account. You don't even have to tell them who you are, because they can tell by your name that you've registered with and signed up with. And then you'll wait a day or two at most. I think my account was approved within 24 hours. And so once you have that account, they'll give you the information like any new service you sign up for. They'll give you a temporary password or a way to get that. You actually basically reset your password, and then it sends you one. You then will be logging into this site, and this is kind of the heart of Fseconomy, server.fseconomy.net. And, I'm logged in. I have some money here. You can see I've got some hours flown. We'll get into that more in subsequent videos, like why it's showing this 48-hour clock and so forth. But you're now signed up. And so what are you signed up for? You're basically signed up for a flight simulator economy, where on the server you basically have things that need to be transported, and you have aircraft that you can use to transport those. And you can kind of get as involved or as little involved as you want. You can simply become part of Fseconomy and just move things around. There's planes for rent everywhere. Again, I'll get into more of this in subsequent videos that get into using Fseconomy. But at the short end, you basically rent a plane, pick a load, and take it there, and you get paid for it. So you will start with $0, but that all works out because the economy basically applies itself once you land. So you're not paying for anything up front. Like when you rent the plane, you're not having to give someone cash immediately. Basically, everything is subtracted when you get there. So you do have to be careful in how you select things, and I'll get into that later, because again, this is what really got me interested. It's a thought out economic model to some degree, where you're having to be careful in what you choose, because otherwise you can lose money, and you can lose money pretty quickly. You want to be very cognizant of how you're choosing things. But other than that, you need a flight simulator, you need your FSE account, and then you're going to need some clients to connect. So just as with many other add-ons to Flight Simulator, so the virtual airlines that I've used to fly some of the trips that I've shared on the channel and so forth, they mainly use this thing called FSC UIPC, I think is what it is, and it's version 7. It's available for free, otherwise known as an application programming interface for those of you who aren't techie, and that probably doesn't help you at that point. It just gives you words that still don't mean anything, but in essence it's a program that allows one program to talk to another one. That add-on basically allows a flight simulator to send data out to things outside the flight simulator, which can then use that data. So the thing that got me in trouble was I got stuck on Microsoft Flight Simulator having what's called a SimConnect client, and they said, well, in 2020, that is built into the system. And so in my setup, and following the setup in the operations guide that you can get to, which again, you can see right here under support, you can get to a user manual very quickly. But in the game world, basically, you're looking at these clients based on what you have. So you just download the appropriate client. And in the manual, it'll give you instructions very clearly in the Getting Started section of what to do. Well, the piece that I had missed, because I downloaded the Fseconomy connector, which is the software that your flight simulator talks to and then connects you to the server to run in the virtual world. I couldn't take jobs. It kept putting me at this airport called DGTK. So if you connect and get set up that way, what you're missing is you need the SimConnect client that is available and is very clearly explained on their Getting Started page. But if you're thick-headed like me, you think you can skip steps and say, well, no, I already have it. It's already built into my flight simulator. Well, the version that Fseconomy needs is not that version, and that's probably in large part due to the fact that this has been around since 2005. So they use, I think, a client that existed way back in the days of FSX, which was the predecessor to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and you need that as well, and it can coexist on your machine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't break your other systems or so forth, so have no fear there. So once you have that set up, that's what you need to work in this environment. So that is the quick and dirty explanation here of how to get set up and get ready to use Fseconomy. I hope you'll come back and see subsequent videos about how to operate on there and just the basics and so forth of what you need to do. And those will be appearing very shortly here on the channel. And as always, if you've liked this and haven't dropped a like, please consider that. If you are not a subscriber to the channel, please consider that as well. And I will see you next time.